2, 1, let's go.
Singleton is not the Candyman.
All right, whatever.
He's straight like
Y'all both got it right.
I've been here for years. No, I'm just kidding. All right, pop up 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to another episode of Talks with Wine, guys. I am your host, Marley.
I am very pregnant Kamaya.
Oh Lord,
I'm gonna put that in your
right in your bio.
Very pregnant bio.
I'm Tamara, the terrible, and
So I want us to start off and take a moment of silence for Pops. Granddad. I'm sorry. That was an iconic man. In
no,
my
you're
life.
right. John Witherspoon, rest in peace. That was a great man.
Yes.
Pops. Put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby.
Baby.
You know
New
you look
shoes.
good to me.
New shoes.
New shoes.
I thought it was a moment of silence.
This is
Granddad was.
It's loud silence.
Pops, Granddad. I still watch the
From,
Boondocks. The Wayne brothers.
The Wayne brothers.
And Friday.
Number 1 or
Number 2.
Number 2, Miss Johnson. Everybody wants to be sticking nose over here.
Why every time I'm in the kitchen,
You in the kitchen. Eating up all the
food in the
all the
refrigerator.
pee-pee. All the hog maw. All the Kool-Aid. I want some pig feet.
I want some chitlins. Now your mama told me you got fired the other day.
Yo, the look of betrayal on. That's a whole other episode.
Then he goes, I want you to go on my dresser and get one of the pamphlets. I love him.
Oh man,
When
rest in peace to a great.
he was telling Sean and Marlon about how to be, you had to bang, 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 bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
That's iconic. Yes.
When I catch a dog,
Grab him.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
All right. Marty, what we talk? We give a recap of our week? Or we just jumping right on there? What you want to
I
say?
mean, you got your card upside down. Let's recap our week, because you...
What's going
You
on?
know why my card is upside down? Because someone got note problem issues.
Put the notes on there.
Who put the note on the
Let me just
card?
be clear. I'm not normally the note person. I'm the taker, not the typer.
All right. You got that.
How was your week?
Oh, this is good.
Yes.
I am glad it is Thursday.
Amen.
You just want to throw the day in there?
Hell yeah.
At least on Monday.
Listen.
Hi guys. We released on
Hey guys,
Monday.
it's Monday.
Wait.
4 times over.
It's the end of the week. I feel good. Cause the bitch is tired. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm telling y'all right now. I love Marley and tomorrow because it is midnight outside.
No.
Not literally, but that's how dark it is.
Now they're going to think I just be having y'all in here like slaves.
I mean,
Like it's midnight out there. No, it's not. I let them go home.
She be like, guys, let's record again.
I'm just tired. I'm tired.
I'm tired, sis. I get it.
And
I'm motherfucking tired.
it's because it's cold. I don't like being cold. I feel like being cold is ghetto.
So ghetto.
Going to work is what?
Ghetto!
Having to leave my warm house is ghetto.
Ghetto. It is. We're in a ghetto place. It's the evil world we living in.
How was your week, sis?
Oh my god. No, my week has been really good. I too am tired. It's been
They're gonna sue us for that.
it's been
Be like, yo,
it's off. Listen, it's off key. Don't.
Okay, I was gonna say, they know my singing ass.
It's a different pitch, and I don't sing it. But no, it's been a good week. It's been one of those weeks where I'm like, I really took to heart that you're going to not be able to please everybody.
Listen,
work.
Tamara is in her
Here she
Virgo
come.
bag.
Yo,
Okay.
from work
She
to
come with the
personal to everything, you're not going to be able to please everybody. You're going to do your best, and you got to be okay with your best. And today was one of those days where I was like, this is my best, sis. And you go.
I ain't got it.
Yo, and my customer was like, and I was just like, I understand where you're coming from, but this is my best. And at the end of the conversation, they were like, you know what? I'll take your best. And it ended up being really good. So I just been having a good week. I've been sailing along and plan on calling out tomorrow and Monday. So, I was just feeling great.
See, I'm going in tomorrow.
I'm gonna go in tomorrow. I always say I'm a Virgo. I always say that. I'm gonna call out. Y'all chat me and be like, "Where you at? I thought you was at home. You called out." No, I'm at my desk because that's just
I got monies to make.
right. I have to love queens. Well, I'm
I
sorry.
heard you was looking for me. I'm at work.
Yeah, here I go. And how was your week? You was all good or whatever. You went to Vegas. How was that? You had a little vacation.
What are you doing? Did you go on
So I
vacation?
have videos of Meg and her cheeks. Not so much her knees, but her cheeks.
Honestly, that's just as good.
I went to a music festival with my boyfriend.
Ooh, what? I mean, if you guys trickle back to like a few episodes, like at the beginning of the year, when someone said they were doing what?
Minding my business. Just minding my business, living the single life.
What single? Your toes?
No,
these braids I'm about to get. No, seriously. No, but it was fun. It was a little vacation.
A little vacation. Y'all was in Vegas living it up.
I mean, secretly we've gone on other little vacations. So,
I was like,
what?
did you move your butt?
Megan did. I think I did again.
but yeah, it was a good time and crossed that off my list. Didn't get drunk like I wanted to, but there's another time for that.
Let me tell you, Vegas is amazing.
Vegas is a very amazing place.
What happens in Vegas?
The evil world we live in.
Vegas, baby.
While I was in Vegas, I was trying to be
Incognito.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was I was trying to be a little incognito, but I was thinking, right? Because
I don't like when you start doing
right? Because then she come back with shit for us to do, and we be like, truth is, the evolution of the word comes back.
Like, that really hits me, because when she be thinking, I really be like, you deserve this right now. Like
what?
What is it? Why? Are
What?
you sworn?
Cause
What are you thinking about?
Me.
What are you
Ow.
thinking?
What are you thinking about?
So I was thinking about my black dollars. Thank you.
Did you stay at a black hotel?
No.
Is there a black
Oh,
hotel?
There's a few.
Not in
in
Vegas.
Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Not in
No,
Vegas.
that's
But
cut out.
they have this new like resort coming, and it looks like crazy. Like I saw the
Well, it's Vegas.
yeah, but it was like some MGM Grand
Well, it's Vegas.
it was up there.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking about my black dollars because I seen the Trump Towers,
Oh, girl.
and I was just like,
Truth is, I'm tired.
you know, and where was it? Papa Gino's or Papa John's?
One of them.
Who sold their whack ass pizza, called somebody a nigga.
Oh, it's Papa John.
Papa John.
And now he's hurt. And now he's sad. And now
yeah,
he's
but he was also
remorseful.
at a Trump rally
What do you mean
After-
he endorses Trump? Like that?
Yeah.
No.
after trying to debate that he's not a racist. So,
But
You support
I was gonna say
the Cheeto without being
I was gonna say
racist.
I want us to be very clear that we are not saying everyone who
this
supports.
is after him with saying the N word.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just saying. I don't want to make a blanket
I
statement.
thought it was a term of endearment.
That's what he said.
I thought everyone was saying it.
Oh.
No, I'm being
But
facetious
I just want to say that
as fuck.
because I did some digging and I looked up all the people who endorsed Trump, and you'd be surprised on how many names you'd be like. Because a lot of people supported that man for capital gain.
Of course.
So,
But
but
because I know Chick-fil-A does. And
that's no caping for John.
Well, I've been told your ass.
I know, but it didn't.
You know,
It hurts.
So does
It took a while.
So does AT&T, and
Okay,
that's my
AT&T.
phone carrier. So does
I got Sprint.
Comcast. I wouldn't be surprised if Sprint didn't either.
First of all, no. You stay your AT&T ass
Right.
over
I
there,
bet you
okay?
Stay over there.
I bet it don't.
We'll look
Your
it up
little list
and
wasn't
we'll
on
see
there?
it.
We're gonna look.
It wasn't on there. You would have remembered.
Right, she would have came back like, and Sprint was up.
Exactly.
I googled celebrities. I didn't say companies.
I mean,
How you get into
that's not
AT&T?
Sprint's fault. What had happened was there's a guy who knows a guy who's a shareholder with a dude who's cool with Donald, and that's how that happened.
I just don't. I don't put it past anyone who makes over
a certain
amount of money
Yeah,
to not want to
right.
vote for the man who's going
Well-
to save their taxes.
Well, speaking of voting,
Because y'all both got Facebook. We put this out on Facebook, and they are. You ain't hear Facebook? They support the Republican
here's
Party.
me.
Huh?
I said Facebook, here's me.
They support the Republican Party. They endorse Trump. Mark Zuckerberg. You know, he was taking
We ain't
a
even
task.
gonna get,
and
we ain't
Trump-
even gonna get into
yeah,
that
so-
because that I had seen that this week and I was just
Yeah.
a little
So every time you go on
puzzled.
Instagram and Facebook,
Snapchat, everything.
no, not Snapchat. Snapchat's not owned by Instagram and Facebook.
yeah, but Rihanna don't support Snapchat,
I don't
so
support-
therefore
I
I
don't.
don't. Okay.
But
When
I
Rihanna
Okay,
don't
well,
know.
sis, well, here's the thing, sis. Like, I play around with the filters. I got a lot of things to say. I don't post stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like the filters.
No.
What are we talking about
That's
today?
not the
Where are we
same.
going today?
We just
Today, I want us to talk about our black dollars, but I also want us to talk about the black vote
Ooh,
because they
You gonna vote? You gonna vote?
I vote all the time. You don't, wait, how? Wait.
Wait. Nope. Let her finish. Because that's why we talking about this.
all right.
I'm about to
Let
hit
me-
her with the.
Please,
Anyways,
because I have a
so-
lot of concerns.
And I have
You
a
can
lot
be
of
concerned.
historical knowledge for your black ass.
So, all right, why don't you vote?
It's not that I don't vote. It's just this particular presidential election, I may sit this one out.
The one that matters, that one that
The
matters.
last one mattered the most.
They all matter. When you were talking,
We're gonna get into this. Go.
But
she's giving me anxiety. I didn't know. Why you didn't debrief me?
you was in the meeting.
But you didn't say that.
Expect the unexpected. But no, I want us to
came out here to
start.
rock the damn boat.
Yeah, rock the boat, don't
Same
rock the boat, baby.
But no, I want us to focus on because a new year is coming, right?
A new decade out this.
A
bitch.
new decade, yes.
We vote next year, 2020.
We do.
November.
November 3rd. I know all the little, you know.
Mm.
I just don't particularly feel like I want to vote this time.
And why is that?
Because I want to.
No, you have to. This is the thing. If you are over the age of 17 and you have a voter's registration card,
I was 18.
no, over the age of 17.
Oh.
So after you turn 17, what do you turn?
Girl, you
18 and older, you can vote. If you are 18 or older, right? I want to know why you are not voting.
Okay, so with that, to break these two up, why is the black vote always so necessary?
I'll let you go first, Marley. Tell me why your vote is necessary.
And why your black ass ain't voting?
Wow, I didn't know I was gonna be attacked on my own show.
Because
Like that.
I want to call her the B word again because she. You,
As a term of endearment?
no. Why
No,
aren't
but
you
seriously, I don't know. I feel like after I voted my first time voting in a presidential election, I voted for Obama.
voting? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't particularly feel. I think I'm at this point where I'm still like, I don't feel like it does anything for our communities. I don't feel like it does anything for me in particular. Not to say it doesn't. A lot of things that get passed affect us in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
But for me in particular, I think that I need to be more focused on the people who are in my communities, like where I live, to make a difference. Because the last election where Atlanta's, was it a senator that had gotten like pretty much kicked off the ballot?
Oh, Stacey.
And it's just like, are we really doing enough to help each other by running for office? I'm just at a point where I'm questioning everything in sight.
So, but that's the thing. That's the local government, and that's why you must vote. That's why you must continue. But she got kicked off. You know what? She didn't get kicked off the ballot. She was on the ballot. It was just the man rigged the election. We all know he rigged the election. It's given. I don't even remember his name. He's not that important.
And you are never that important.
But
Okay.
Tam, can you please give us some historical facts
All right.
as to why we need to be voting?
What's so necessary about my black vote?
All right, listen. Well, I'm gonna say for me, I or others may want to look at this from a historical standpoint because I want to address the fact that I don't know if you guys are familiar or if you ever learned about Black suffrage, but that's the reference for many of the hardships of why Black American people weren't able to vote. That's what we had to go through. We had to get allowed rights to vote, and discriminatory behavior from white people prohibiting Black people from voting. Okay, all that good stuff. First of all, Black people weren't even considered or acknowledged as people or citizens until after the Civil War.
Yep.
After the passing of the 14th Amendment, that's 1870, okay? And then you go from there, women, again, not including Black women, because there was still segregation going on. And that wasn't done until, what, 1950? Something?
Yeah, 1950.
Okay. I just want to get my dates aligned. All right, but women weren't allowed to vote until 1920. Okay, so now fast forward generationally, I think that you have a divide of people who feel that it's not relevant, it's not necessary because we don't reap the benefits of voting for someone who may not be favorable to us, or, you know, whatever that means to each person. But after the 2016 election and after Donald Trump, although I'm not saying his win is the reason why Black people not showing up, Black people opting out and not voting, I'm not saying like it's us to blame, but a good portion of that inadvertently pushed him to his win.
No, I want to take that back.
Well, this is my opinion.
I was going to say, because Black women were the highest voted.
Right, but as a whole, collectively, to finish my statement, as a whole, collectively, Black people didn't show up to the polls. Like, cool, Black women showed up. But as a collective, we didn't show up to the polls. So inadvertently, he won. And he even said that in one of his speeches. He, literally snidingly was
You're right.
Literally snidingly was like, oh, well, you know, and he's like, even though the Black people, some Black people don't support me, but they kind of ended up supporting me because here I am, because you didn't show up, so here I am.
But then we should be thinking about the fact that a lot of our Black men can't even vote, so...
But
it's not that they can't, right, and it's not that they can't vote, it's the fact that people don't know they're voting right. And it's the fact that people are trying to prohibit, they're still doing stupid things, especially certain southern states are still doing things like they were back then, trying to make it more difficult for you to think that you can't vote or not show up.
And I want you to also know, right?
The Black vote has weight because we have weight. And we're afraid to stand in our resilience. We're afraid to show up because we just you not voting is just as bad as being
going to vote for the party you're not against.
You know what I'm saying? You not showing up is just as bad. To me,
this is the thing.
To me.
And I'm not telling anyone to vote for, I'm not telling you what political party to vote for. Vote for your interest, of course.
Right.
But this is a right that was fought for us, and I feel like we should exercise that right. 1. 2, it has been proven. There have been studies that when Black people come together and vote, they get shit done.
Truly, literally.
So this is the thing. We cannot complain.
That was my
we
point.
Cannot complain.
You have no room to complain about.
Do what I want.
Because you got to think about it.
I do what I want.
But it's the
Republican. What does the Republican Party control right now? I believe they control the House and the Senate.
But if we're talking historical facts as well, we need to understand that these two parties were. When I think about a system for us, we already know that this system was not built for us.
But this is the thing. We gotta stop living in the past and live in the now and try to fix it.
And that's where we're at as a people. Luckily, we're still coming to terms with that. But if we're thinking about the beginning of the Democratic and the Republican parties, they still weren't made for us. We get somebody who stands in the forefront and delivers us, and it's like, okay, but
I've never been delivered.
Or they say he'll deliver us because they pan so hard for the Black vote every election, so hard for it. And sadly, yes, we do sit them out, but it's the fact of the matter is nothing is getting done for us anyway.
So this is what I want, and this is another thing people have to realize. I feel like people forget that when a president gets in office, they still have to correct or rearrange the shit that was done from the previous term.
From the previous term.
It's a ripple effect.
And it's not instant. I think the problem with us as a collective sometimes is we are, and I say collective, not even just Black people, but people as a whole, we're in the era of now. everything is now. Instant gratification now. Things being changed now.
But we have the power to make those things happen.
No,
right.
And
if we don't exercise them, how we gonna get there?
No, I don't think voting is it.
But that's the thing. Voting isn't. Bills have to be passed. Laws have to be made. So if you got to think about it this way. You really have to look at it this way. A big factor in the United States of America was health insurance. There were a lot of people who did not have health insurance. A lot of people do not like the Affordable Care Act, but there are so many people who benefited from it.
Always.
So many, and it's the thing. I feel like when we look at elections, we're looking at micro rather than a macro.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the 52 states around us, the amount of people that's in us. When you say we have to vote not only on our local level.
I was literally about to say, because you asked what does voting do for our communities. I was going to say, if we're talking on a local and state level, I think you start to see the effects in our communities a little bit faster because obviously those are local and state levels. But if you expect things to go up the channel, I have to show up for these things in order to show up for the bigger things.
And what you also need to realize too, right? If you vote on your local level and the person you voted for on your local level makes it, and say they're a Democrat, and the person in office is of the same viewing party, it makes it easier to get a lot of bills and a lot of things passed.
Right.
It does. It just does. It's a proven fact. You want to have those parties on your side. When we say, I'm not going to vote or I'm not voting, and we turn our eyes away from it, we cannot sit back and complain about the shit that happened. You can't.
I don't feel you have no right to. But I also feel
Listen,
like, but I feel like
but I feel like
you
wanted
saying
to demolish student loans. Listen,
the Native American lady.
Bernie Sanders said it. Come on.
Yes, but those aren't things, and we know those are not things that are going to get done.
Right, but that's the thing. Y'all want speedy
Anytime
recovery.
soon.
But y'all want speedy recovery.
But how will you know if you're not contributing?
Ooh.
How will I know if it's even
How
being
will you know?
put to work? Because it can get to a point where it's like
You ain't contributing, so how you gonna know?
Look at all the.
Contributed
All right,
last
put it this
time.
way. You ready? You ready? You ready? Look at all the fucked up shit that happened from when homeboy in the office got in there. Look at all the fucked up shit that happened. The only thing that he really did that benefited us that we probably don't realize is our taxes.
Yeah, well, there's that.
That's, I mean, like, I'm not gonna
But
front.
if you owe money, it don't even matter.
But like, when you really look at it, because he likes to take credit for jobs, and he did not do that. That was not him.
Well, I know that.
You get what I mean? So it's just like,
I just think that when it comes
imagine another 8 years, another 4 years with that motherfucker.
I just think that it's one of those things. I have moved from a mindset where I used to very much be a person that was like, oh, I'm not showing up. I don't really care. I still, to a degree, feel that way. But the reason why I'm showing up now is because the reason why I'm showing up now, though, is because I have to, because I care about the generations after me, because I feel like I have to take the initiative to hope for this ripple effect. I have to take the initiative to vote for my local, my state, and hope that it makes its way up there.
Right.
I'll have to take the initiative to show up. The 14% of us that live in this motherfucking country got to show up. The
and
same
when we
way.
show up, we show out.
Exactly.
So why are we not doing that? The way
And I need it to be
we
that way.
sit there
Or
and
we be asked out.
Listen,
Again.
we
Again.
made, all right, Surviving R. Kelly, Insecure. These are things
We
we
tweet
about. I'm just saying the shows.
Right.
I had to think about the two shows. When they were tweeting about Surviving R. Kelly, that shit was on it was on the news. It was
killing me! I'm sorry.
when Insecure, think about it. We drive so much. We are pop culture.
Man,
like, think about it.
I was just gonna say, because that segues into her next question, but that's legit shit. Like, we are the shit.
So why are we not putting our voices
We have to be the
out
shit
there?
everywhere, though. We can't just be the shit.
Vote or
in
die.
Jordans and
Do y'all know who
iPhones.
came up with Vote or Die?
Diddy.
Come on now.
Puff Daddy came up with it.
Brother
I think
Love.
he was Diddy at that time.
He's Brother
He will
Love.
always be Puff Daddy to me.
You gotta take it more seriously, Marley. Marley, you are too educated to sit here and say that to me. What whole tech is in your ear?
Ain't no hotel in my ear.
I was gonna say.
No, it's just, for me, it kind of feels like the same thing.
Let me tell you something.
When we were at that point trying to vote for either Trump or Hillary, I feel like we're there again. Granted, we have more options, but just like...
You know what you also need to realize right now? You still got a long way to go, baby.
I know.
You gotta, because we are.
Oh, yeah.
We got a whole.
Well,
think about it. They didn't even choose the 2 primaries yet. I mean,
right.
we got a long way to go.
We have a while to go, but it's just like, I'm sitting here like, okay, well, I'm not doing this, choosing the lesser of the 2 evils again, unless it's, I know who I may vote for, but...
She said, I'm not doing this lesser of the 2. I hate when people say that. I don't want to choose between the lesser of 2 evils. No, you are literally choosing between
The lesser of 2 evils.
That's all it is. Like,
one fate or another.
Like, yeah, but both of them are bad. Like, both of them can lead.
But one is more in your favor than the other.
But it may not be in my children's favor. So,
but I have to.
There's gotta be mess ups here and there.
No, of course. But I mean, it doesn't. You could have somebody in your. But there are some black people that feel like Obama didn't do a goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. That's all good and gravy. And to be completely honest with you, I'm not a political person. I don't really get into like I'm just now getting around to truly re-educating myself on these things and getting back into this because I have to because I'm an adult now or whatever. So my license.
You're what?
So my license says.
And that's another thing. I'm like, I don't want anyone to think, like, I do not know a whole bunch when it comes about politics and stuff like that.
We can teach you.
But I do.
Who's we?
Who's we?
Well, we have someone who can teach us. We have someone who can teach us.
But
I don't want to learn that, man.
But I do know the importance of voting. Like, for instance, one of your questions is about the black dollar and its circulation. And that's where I think our community, I use the black dollar and the black vote.
So here's my thing. So the question is, you guys, what would make us take our money more seriously? So the black dollar, what would we do differently? What can we do?
We need to break that negative connotation that it doesn't matter. Same way we're voting. We don't think our vote matters. We don't think our dollars
matter. My money matters. I know.
No.
Why do your money matter? Why do the same people that you're voting for who has control over your money, why do your money matter but not your vote? Because eventually it's going to get to a point where they're going to tell you where you can spend your dollars. Your doll hairs. And you won't be able to buy your doll hairs. Like, so.
I know my black dollars matter. You know why?
No.
Because, and it's weird to say because when we think about things, when we think about spending our black dollars, right?
Where your jeans from?
For example, the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
First of all, no. Did somebody pass over that?
Yes. Someone got that. But what I also
what the hell?
But what I want us to do.
I hate.
This is.
This place is ghetto.
No, this is subtext. This is
this place is ghetto and I want out.
I want us to really remember that Popeye sandwich is just not only black people doing that.
I understand that, but that's why I say my money matters because honestly, it's more targeted towards us. And let me tell you why. We have about $1.5 trillion of buying power, right? And in that buying power,
last year it was 1.2 trillion. So
since it's moving up,
so I'm like, so
I bought a couple bottles of Douce.
Come on.
I got this from Dr. Umar Johnson, and I know how you feel about him. I know. But listen to these stats. We spent $2 billion on Jordans.
Did you look to see how many, like, what amount of money?
What was it, the ones, the twos, the fours?
No, what other cultures, what they spend on that?
Like you were saying, grouping the Hispanics and grouping minorities, right?
But
it's still the black dollar.
So, but what you also need to realize too, with this stat and what they always say, and this is what I was trying to say, that $2 billion compared to a white money,
who is 2 times more wealthier than we are.
but this is the thing. What you gotta say is these are things that I just want us to remember. Like, we can't make it. Oh, our black dollar, we're spending so much money on this stuff. So are they. And you know what they're doing that we're not doing? They're getting out and voting to making sure these legislations get changed in their favor.
But the difference is, though, they have the money. We don't. We spend the money.
We still aren't getting up to go get the legislations to change so we can make laws and pass bills.
So wait, to untie all of that, because yes, they're connected, but they're still 2 very separate entities. Because for me, understanding the power in our consumption, like $2 billion on Jordans, $4 billion on alcohol.
It's horrible.
Like, cool, that's great. They're spending that. The thing that I think,
and we spent $600 million on fast food.
So when I hear these things, at least for me, the things that I reconsider, the things of where exactly I'm spending my money and who I'm supporting, you know, brands and fast fashion and all that stuff. For me, the thing about what would take us more what would make us take our money more seriously is understanding financial literacy, understanding longevity of investments, creating generational wealth, so that you don't have a place to say, well, they have this. I'm tired of hearing they have this. That's great. They've been had this. That's nice. It's 2019. It's supposed to be a whole new decade. Stop saying they have this. What do we have? Where are we going to put it? How are we going to do it? Because we reached $1.2 trillion last year alone.
And can I tell you
and we are a cool factor when it comes to consumption.
And can I tell
That's
you
why they're buying the things that we are buying, because we're a cool factor.
Exactly. Can I tell you what voting does? Voting puts those people, and voting on your local level, I'm not even going to focus on a presidential election.
Right, because that's to me is where you should start.
Voting on your local level allows us to get those people in our local government that want to put these programs in place to teach us, not take funding out of school for certain
but to generate these spaces for us to be able to.
So when you say you don't want to vote, that's a whole
and that's fine, because I know there may not be people who go out and vote but who donate frequently to charities, who donate to things that they wholeheartedly believe in that can actually make a difference, or who are people who are actually making a difference.
Can I say something? Do you guys remember last year November where there was, I don't know if you guys voted in a local election last year.
I did.
But there was a question on the ballot about whether or not nurses should either work longer. I believe it was work longer hours or hire more. It had something to do with
making you a nurse.
I don't even want to go there.
I don't want to get the wrong information out.
Exactly. But what it was, you know, hospitals were overstaffed. Nurses were overworked, and I think what it was is changing the ratio for the amount of patients that a nurse would see. That's when you vote. Those are the things that change. When we go to vote in these elections, yes, you have that big one, but there are so many other minor factors, that we need to look into that will change. There was a question that talked, and it was on my ballot right over here in Dorchester, that talked about taking away the demographics in schools. Like something about, it was so weird because I screenshotted it. Basically what they're supposed to say. It's all right, it don't matter.
You're going to jail now. Ma'am, we're going to edit that.
I didn't circle what I was circling, but the question was weird. And basically what it was is the school was petitioning for it because what they basically wanted to do was basically tally up the demographics in the public school and limit how many minorities were allowed to go to this public school. Exactly. I won't say this. I'll tell you that. I'll say that off air.
Well, it's already running anyway. But
no, I do.
But these are things we have to really go and vote for. Those things you gotta vote for.
I do get that. I do vote on the state and local.
Did you vote on Tuesday?
I missed it because, ma'am, I just got back. Okay.
She was in Vegas. Goddamn.
I had a couple drinks before I got on that plane. And I had work that day.
What time did you touch down?
And I went.
I'm at the airport. 11 p.m.
Sheesh.
The polls is closed.
You touched down at 11 p.m.?
She touched down at 11
picked her up.
p.m.
She just said she had work.
The next day.
Anyways.
Are you her lawyer?
Possibly.
Maybe.
I
plead the fifth.
You get that almond milk in the morning.
Maybe you better take that. Maybe. Take your ass on these preliminaries now. Don't happen again. What did you say now about that almond?
No, but I think we are, with a lot of things, we are learning little things, because when it comes to financial literacy, that is something that I feel like is just one of our major concerns. Major concerns, because when you hear those stats, you can almost believe it, because
I do believe it. I believe it.
Listen, when you tally up how many bottles you've bought,
they said $151 million in the luxury non-essential items.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're not
watches,
even buying things that we need,
jewelry,
that can do anything.
I know y'all hate her, but Kanye said we buy things on the screen that are not ours.
But this is the thing, and this is a question.
Where I'm from, the dope boys is the rock stars with the cars without saying cup cars.
But
I guess they want us all behind bars.
Stop
I know it.
This is what I mean about us realizing that our black dollars matter and our black products matter just as much as anyone else's, because my mother Rihanna, she came up with her luxury Fenty line, and
Pops was her granddad.
Okay, like this celebrity.
She a celebrity.
Ma'am, why are we
make us rich?
Right. Give me generational wealth for soul. Help me.
Rihanna came out with her Fenty luxury line.
I see you retracting,
and
mother.
People were like, "Oh, I'm not spending that much money on that. That's expensive." That line is LVH, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, and I believe Celine. It's a luxury blend.
It's a high-end luxury brand. You don't see the F's on that?
And people have
Fenty prints on.
People rather spend their money on things like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, Chanel, because it looks.
Not the Chanel.
Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, Chanel. But they won't spend it with. But they complain about spending it with Rihanna. They complain about spending it.
But they feel justified because Gucci Mane is now the new face of Gucci.
But it's not.
Don't you attack me like this.
I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying.
I took the glasses off.
That's their justification for black dollars.
All I'm saying is.
Now don't get it wrong. I'm not saying I'm any lesser.
I'm not saying I'm any lesser. I got a Gucci bag.
I'm spreading my money. I'm trying to. I personally, when it comes
to
everything, I'm gonna be real honest. This year, I made a personal note to myself to reduce my fashion consumption, and I have a great deal. Like, I do not buy from Fashion Nova. I do not buy from
Bacardi.
That's great for her. That's what's up. That's money in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? But like, I do not buy from I haven't bought from Primark probably in I don't know how long. Like, I'm trying not to buy from those places. Or maybe I did. Maybe I have. Or maybe I have. Or here and there. Like I said, I'm trying to reduce it. I said I'm trying to reduce it. Mm-hmm. But those are the places where I'm like, okay, one, I can't support those because one, those are environmentally and morally, ethically fucked up. Mm-hmm. But now, for me, like, okay, so that transitions into because Marley didn't have this on the board, but I did. Where are you circulating your black dollars? So I am getting into a point where I'm trying to support more black businesses. I'm trying to, I am. I hijacked this bitch. Hey, so I'm trying to get to that place. But the only thing I want to say about when it comes to investments and understanding the power of our black dollar is, while we're trying to take control of our black dollars, where we're trying to take control of consumership, we also have to take ownership of our businesses and how we curate these businesses and how we run these businesses. Because the reason why I feel most of the time that people don't want to support each other is because we seem to miss that. Not every brand, I want to be very clear, because my background is customer service. My background is in that. We miss the part where we're learning to really cater and curtail and have customer service and have protocols and have really good follow-up things from these brands where we buy from, because we're so used to them, because they're pushed every day on us, ads everywhere. But if we pushed our black business the same way, they would probably have the space to be able to learn how to run their businesses better, how to get more efficient.
And you know what
so we can circulate and generate these things.
So,
and I'm here to help.
So
You need a customer service.
to close this out, what I
would
would
email me.
listen. These fools. To close this out, what I think we should tell the people to do. I want us all to listen to Killer Mike. Go listen to a few of his interviews. Listen, because he talks not only about voting.
So that's a whole tap. I'm not listening to him.
Killer Mike.
There's a whole tap.
I'm just messing with you. Do you know something I don't know?
She said, yo, this show about to go off.
But listen to him because he talks about the power in the black vote, but how it relates to the black dollar. Mm-hmm. He talked about it at the Revolt Summit. He was just like,
that's on my bucket list.
Yes.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
Me too.
No, I mean to go.
Yeah,
I'll watch it. I want to go.
He talks about it, and he focuses more on voting on the local level because that's where we'll see the immediate change that you want to see. Mm-hmm. But it's beneficial. Listen to people like Killer Mike. Also,
there's a lady named Angel Rich who also teaches about financial literacy.
Oh, the budget needs to
Tiffany, took the words out my mouth, sis.
These are things. Yara Shahidi also is doing really great work around voting with the younger people. So a lot of people to look into.
What was it? The people that were waiting in line for like 1,000,000 years for the Popeye sandwich? I can't remember the name of the young boy. He was
that
registering.
Young man went out there to people.
That young man was registering people to vote. He was like, "Well, while y'all waiting for y'all sandwiches, may I ask you, are you registered to vote? Because if you're not, I have a pamphlet."
And I guess that's what we need more of in our communities. Having people who are not outsiders coming to us and asking us and making sure that we're properly and well informed.
You mean outsiders? What you mean, sis? Because I'm
You know when them white folks come up in your neighborhood talking about, oh, we need the census. Oh, make sure you do this. Make sure, like.
So are you more restricted from voting if a white person asks you to register than a black person asks you to register?
I'm not restricted from voting because who's asking me.
I'm just saying.
It's all about what I see.
But you want to see more better representation. But
I do. I want to see a lot of
with
more
us,
representation
But it
in
starts with you. I definitely feel where you're coming from, but it still has to start with you. You can't sit here and ask for representation and then be like, but I ain't going.
Oh,
I show up to little things
you
where I'm getting the information.
You show up.
Ma'am, I couldn't vote that day. Leave me alone.
I'm not talking about that day.
Anyway, before we end off, I do want us to I wanted to challenge you guys. Haha, there you go.
Well, money challenge? The month is over. Bye. It's November. No. Goodbye.
No, but I have been, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about making like a challenge where we only buy black for 2 months. Because here in Boston, we have a lot of smaller businesses.
Well, can you say minority? Because I go I don't have a black grocery store near me, but I have a local grocery store near me.
That was gonna say.
I have some Caribbean markets or whatever.
Sure.
You asking
okay, I'm like, listen, I'm game for that because I already do that. I don't stop.
You asking a pregnant woman on a budget to buy strictly black for 2 months? Bitch, I give birth in 2 months.
Wow. So the 2 months after,
I ain't buying shit. I ain't buying shit.
Do you see what's wrong?
But give me another challenge. Challenge me to research where I can start buying stuff.
But you can though. You know what I'm saying? Even on a budget. No, not for nothing.
Where can I buy Panthers from? Is there black on Panthers?
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
Who is it by?
So maybe you should research.
That's what I said. That's what I'm
because people like her, and I have a lot of other friends who are into the holistic. And
we're trying to get there. For real, we're trying to put them on the forefront because it's important.
Black-owned diapers. You can get your lotions.
I just want to be clear. If you are buying fast fashion, if you are buying,
but there ain't nothing with buying. Buy what you please, but do not frown upon supporting your own.
Yeah.
Just put it that way.
No. I just mean for viewer purposes. I'm just saying, I just want to be clear. Obviously,
because I only use Shea Moisture on my skin, and that's a black one. You see, she might try to be.
Nah, because she was.
That's a what?
She.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have, and I'm Tamara.
Guys.
This is another wonderful episode of Talks with Wine and My Two Bitches.
I'm Miley. I quit.